This video is going to be really fun for me because I get to go ahead, take a couple minutes to talk about my favorite NBA team that I've been a fan of ever since they've been back in the league since 2015 is the Charlotte Hornets. They are having a very underrated season. Just in my opinion, really, I feel like a lot of people, and not just the Hornets, but also like teams like the Cavaliers, a lot of people have not took notice of these teams, not just, in the Eastern Conference, but just in general. Obviously, there's also a couple teams in the Western Conference. I feel like the Mavs and the Timberwolves kind of get overlooked a little bit in the Western Conference too. But I'm glad to be here to talk about my team and the team I root for every single day. The awesome thing is, a lot of people don't even know this, and nobody was talking about it, but the Hornets beat the Bucks in back-to-back games, like a couple weeks back by now. They also beat the 76ers after winning those two games against the Bucks, which is insane. Both of those teams are way better than the Hornets, but the Hornets were able to take them out on each floor, and yet, which the Hornets just lost their last game. If I can remember, I think they versed the Hawks. Yeah, it was the Hawks. But they've been winning a lot of games. They beat the Thunder before that. I know they beat the Celtics, the Knicks, and then they beat the Bucks, like I said, twice, the 76ers. They have been on a roll, and I think a lot of people, the reason they're not noticing is it because, well, it's Charlotte. That's most of the time what the excuse is. But also, I know last year, the Hornets were actually like the 4th seed in the NBA. And I don't know if a lot of people really remember that, but they were the 4th or 5th seed in the Eastern Conference last season. And that's when they were healthy. And this year, they're actually being pretty well consistently when it comes to health. And even when they're not fully healthy with all their players, they've still been able to win games. Even during the whole outbreak of the virus and stuff, the Hornets were still able to come together because, to be honest, the Hornets actually got hit just like every other team when it came to, losing players and stuff, to getting infected and stuff like that. But the Hornets were able to go past that and still win some games and be able to hold their spot. Right now, they're the 7th seed, and they have a chance to actually keep going even farther. Now, they're obviously in the play-in right now, but if they're able to get the 6th or higher seed, they won't have to go into the play-in. They can get past that. They'll have the bye to just go into the, normal playoffs past the play-in, which they're only 1 game behind the 76ers and 2 games behind the Cavs. And the Cavs just passed up the 76ers in record, but Hornets have 26 wins. And the best team, the number 1 seed, is the Heat right now. And the Heat and Bucks are both tied with 30 wins. So those are the best teams, only 4 games back. That's not bad. The Eastern Conference has been really close in standings and just records this year. It's pretty crazy. The Western Conference is obviously a different story. A lot of the teams that are like top 3, top 4, they pretty much have a good amount of wins and stuff that are keeping them, except the Jazz. The Jazz are they've been falling off lately. So they're I wouldn't be shocked in the future if maybe the Mavs could pass them, to be honest with you. But one of the main factors is like the Hornets. They're not having the same issues as last year, where the reason they fell off and got into the play-in last season and all that went down was just because of all the injuries that they had. They had so many, pretty much all their best players going down with injuries just at terrible times. LaMelo Ball got injured. Gordon Hayward was getting injured. Terry Rozier was in and out of the lineup, just couldn't stay consistent. And also Miles Bridges wasn't the same player he is this year like he was last year. A lot of people also don't know that. Miles Bridges has been going off this season. He has finally gotten to the point where he's averaging 20 points per game, with going along with like 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He also averages about a steal and a block per game only on like 2 turnovers per game. The dude has been amazing. LaMelo, you could kind of say he's kind of had a little bit of a step back. Not really a even better year than last season, honestly. To be honest with you, I think LaMelo had actually a better season last year. LaMelo hasn't been playing as good as I would like him to this year, but I mean, he puts up good numbers regardless, and for him to still kind of be able to put up what he kind of put up last year is awesome because we have Miles Bridges coming back and putting up 20. I think Miles Bridges was only averaging like 12 last season. It was because Miles Bridges kind of got stuck for a little bit, just how same way with like LaMelo this year, because like LaMelo, it was his rookie season last year, and it just really seems like he hasn't made like a huge jump, which it's not really a big deal. I mean, it's only his second year, so I mean, I'm not too scared about him not making a huge jump or not, and it's not a big deal. But I mean, Miles averaged like 13 last year, and technically LaMelo is having actually almost pretty much a better season. So LaMelo averaged like 16 last year. He's averaging 19. Miles averaged 12 last season, and now he's averaging 20. That's huge. Especially, I'm glad he was able to step up because we got rid of Devontae Graham. He's on the Pelicans now. But Gordon Hayward has been awesome. He's averaging 17. Kelly Oubre, who we picked up, which was an amazing acquisition for us. He's our sixth man. He comes off the bench. He's averaging 16 points per game. He's been an awesome weapon coming off the bench. Our bench is honestly one of the main reasons as well why the Hornets have also been able to be consistent, because we have players like Kelly Oubre, Cody Martin, Jalen McDaniels that are able to come in and be great role players. And also Ish Smith has been awesome as a backup guard whenever he gets to play. And then Terry Rozier is another player that we have in our starting lineup that's always consistent. I can always look to him to go get a bucket for us, and it's just awesome to see, man. But besides that, I mean, that's one of the reasons why the Hornets have been able to pull off what they do. Super underrated team. If anything, honestly, the Hornets, they're only going to get better. And the crazy part is when it comes to talking about their future and stuff, they have the young players, the young pieces that are growing every year and getting better. Not only that, they also have the veteran pieces, whether they can use to keep, to grow, to wait and grow those young players, have those veterans ready, and then go push for a championship, or they can trade those assets that they have, like Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, because who knows where we'll be, later in the future, in a couple years down the line, when, LaMelo is finally averaging, like, who knows, probably like 25 points per game or more. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's averaging that in the future. Miles Bridges is only going to get better, more consistent. I mean, if that happens, like I said, we have trade pieces like Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, who's our sixth man. He's coming off the bench. I mean, when you have pieces like those, it can be very, very, I don't know what the word is really, but it's very convenient in a way that you're able to have pieces set and ready to go if you're ready to pull a trigger on another player right then and there. And that's what we see a lot with these teams that are making championship pushes, is that they go out there and usually they're just missing one more piece. And usually they either don't have the assets or they do have the assets to pull it off. They send you a draft pick, whatever, and then they have the players or veterans to send to that other team that wants to give them the asset. Usually that other team wants to rebuild, stuff like that. So the Hornets are in a great position at this point. It's really just about growing. And so far, I'm so glad that they're in a position and prime to be. And also, shout out to Hornets fans and the arena. This has been the best season for tickets and stuff like that at the Hornets Stadium. This has probably been the first year in a long time where Hornets games have been sold out and stuff like that. So it's just awesome to see that people are actually coming to see the Hornets play and people actually enjoy what's happening with this team. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it might have seemed like I didn't really talk about that much, but I really wanted to talk about this team because I feel like they're very underrated. A lot of people don't talk about them. And like I said, maybe it's just because it's the Hornets, but I know my team, they're awesome, and I can't wait to watch them in the playoffs. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.